Hello students, in the last three sessions, we have learned about the types of reproduction, structure of flower, development of male and female gametophyte, and the types of pollination. From chapter number 1, reproduction in lower and higher plants. In this session, we are going to learn about the agents of pollination. You all know that pollination is one of the important steps in the process of sexual reproduction in angiosperms. The factors which transfer pollen grains from anther of a flower to the stigma of another flower are called pollinating agents. In this chart, we see the classification of pollinating agents. Agents of pollination are of two main types. First one is abiotic and the second one is biotic. Abiotic pollinating agents are non-living things which carry the process of pollination. Abiotic agents are of two types. Pollination carried with the help of wind is called anemophily and the flowers are called anemophilous. The pollination carried with the help of water is called as hydrophily and the flowers are called as hydrophilous flowers. The biotic agents are living organisms which carry the process of pollination. Depending upon the type of organisms, biotic agents are of three types. The first one is the pollination carried by insect. It's called as entomophily and the flowers are called as entomophilous flowers. The second one is the pollination carried by the birds. It's called as ornithophily and the flowers showing this type of pollination are called as ornithophilous flower. The third one is the pollination carried by bats. It's called as chiropterophily and the flowers are called as chiropterophilous. So we are going to learn about the different agents which are responsible for pollination. The first main type of pollinating agent is abiotic agent. Abiotic agents are non-living things which carry the process of pollination. Anemophily. Anemophily is the first type of abiotic pollinating agent. The pollination carried by wind is called as anemophily. Now we will see the adaptations in anemophilous flowers. The flowers are small, inconspicuous and colorless. Inconspicuous flowers mean that they are not easily noticeable or they cannot be easily seen. The nectar and fragrance is absent in the flowers. The pollen grains are light in weight and are produced in large number to avoid the wastage due to the uneven direction of wind. The stigma is feathery to trap the pollen grains carried by the wind. The stamens have long filament with versatile anther. Versatile anther means it can swing or move in the air. The anther is loosely attached to the connective. In the image, we see entire maize plant. Maize plant is monoecious. It means male and female flowers are on the same plant. At the apex, we see male inflorescence. It is also called as tassel. Male inflorescence show presence of male flowers. The flowers are called male flowers as they only show development of male reproductive part, that is androecium. You know that the members of androecium are called as stamens. The male inflorescence show a flag leaf. Inflorescence show axis with internode. Female inflorescence is on the lower side of the plant and it is also called as ear. It shows the development of only gynoecium. Gynoecium has styles called as silks. After pollination, pollen grains get easily attached to the surface of the stigma. Below the female inflorescence, we see seeds in maize. The seeds are also called kernel. The stems show presence of nodes and internodes. On the stem, leaves are present. Maize shows additional roots called as prop roots or they are also called as stilt roots. These stilt roots or prop roots give additional support to the plant. At the base, we see adventitious roots. Hydrophily. It is the second type of abiotic pollinating agent. Pollination carried with the help of water is called as hydrophily. Hydrophily is found in 30 genera of monocots. Example: Vallisneria, Zostera, Ceratophyllum, etc. Now we will see the adaptations in hydrophilous flowers. You know that adaptations are the modifications developed by the flowers to carry a special type of function. The adaptations are the flowers are small and inconspicuous. Inconspicuous flowers mean they are not easily noticeable or they cannot be easily seen. The perianth and other floral parts are unwettable. Unwettable means water does not enter inside them. The pollen grains are long and unwettable due to the presence of a chemical substance called as mucilage. The nectar and fragrance is absent in the flower. Hydrophily is of two types. The first one is hypohydrophily. Hypohydrophily means the pollination occurs below the surface of water. The second one is epihydrophily. Epihydrophily means pollination occurs on the surface of water. Hypohydrophily. It is the first type of pollination carried with the help of water. This type of pollination occurs below the surface of water. Hence it is called as hypohydrophily. In the image, we see Zostera plants. Zostera shows dioecious condition, that is, male and female flowers are on the separate plant present below the surface of water. As the plants are present below the surface of water, they are also called as submerged plants. The male flower releases long and ribbon-shaped pollen grains without exine, and these pollen grains are heavier than water. Hence, they remain below the surface of water. The pollen grains sink down and reach to the stigma of the female flower. In this way, hypohydrophily occurs in Zostera. Epihydrophily. It is the second type of hydrophily. Hydrophily is the pollination carried with the help of water. The pollination which occurs on the surface of water is called as epihydrophily. Example, Vallisneria. Vallisneria is a submerged dioecious freshwater aquatic plant. Dioecious means male and female flowers are present on separate plants. In the diagram, we see female flowers reach on the surface of water temporarily for the process of pollination. The male flowers get separated from the male plant and come on the surface of water. The male flowers release pollen grains in the water. As the specific gravity of the pollen grain is same to that of water, they can float on the surface of water. Then these pollen grains reach to the stigma of the female flower. In this way, epihydrophily, that is, pollination occurs on the surface of water in Vallisneria. The second type of pollinating agent is biotic agent. Biotic agents are living organisms which carry the process of pollination. About 80% of plants require biotic agents for pollination. Depending upon the type of organisms, pollination of biotic agents are of three types. The first type is entomophily. Entomophily is the pollination carried with the help of insects. The entomophily pollination is seen in plants like rose, jasmine, cestrum, etc. The flowers in entomophilis pollination are showing different types of adaptations. Adaptations are the modifications developed by the flowers to carry a special type of function. The adaptations found in entomophilous flowers are: the flowers are large, attractive and bright colored. Due to the attractive and bright colored, the insects are attracted towards the flower. The flowers have sweet smell and nectar. Nectar is a sweet substance produced by the flower on which the insect feed, or they use it as food material. Hence the insects visit to the flower. The surface of stigma is sticky due to a chemical substance called as mucilage. The stigma may also show presence of hairs. Due to the sticky nature or due to the presence of hairs, the pollen grains get easily attached to the surface of the stigma. The pollen grains in entomophilous flowers are spiny with a yellow sticky substance called as pollen kit. Due to the spiny nature of the pollen grain get easily attached to the body of insect. Some flowers like salvia show a special adaptation to carry entomophilous pollination. Such mechanism is called as lever mechanism. In the given image, we see salvia flower with an insect. Salvia flower shows bilipped corolla. That means corolla is divided into two parts. The stamen shows presence of two anther lobe, upper fertile anther lobe and lower sterile anther lobe connected by a connective. When the insect visits the flower to drink the nectar, the lower sterile anther lobe gets pressed in the downward direction. Due to this, the upper fertile anther lobe comes in downward direction and come in contact with the body of the insect, and pollen grains get attached to the body of the insect. This mechanism is called as lever mechanism. When this insect visit another flower to drink nectar, it comes in contact with the stigma of the gynoecium and pollen grains are deposited on the surface of the stigma. So in this way, due to liver mechanism, cross-pollination is possible in salvia flower. Ornithophily is the second type of pollination by biotic agents carried by birds. Ornithophily is carried by small birds which have long beaks to drink nectar. Example, sunbirds, hummingbirds, etc. Adaptations in ornithophilous flowers. The flowers are brightly colored, large and attractive to attract the birds towards them for the process of pollination. The flowers produce large amount of nectar which is used as food by the birds. The flowers are without fragrance as birds have poor sense of smell. Pollen grains are spiny and sticky due to which they get attached to the body of the birds. And these birds when visit another flower for the purpose of nectar, the pollen grains are deposited on the stigma of such flower. In this way, birds play an important role in the process of pollination. Chiropterophily, the third type of pollination by biotic agents, is carried by bats. Adaptations in Chiropterophilus flowers are the flowers are not attractive or they are dull colored, show strong fragrance to attract the bats for the process of pollination. The flowers bloom or open at night as bats are nocturnal animal. Nocturnal animals means they are active during night. The flowers produce large amount of nectar which bats can use as food material. The pollen grains produced are edible which bat can use as food material. The examples of pollination chiropterophily is Anthocephalus and Kygella. In this way, bats help in the process of pollination. So in this session, we have studied biotic and abiotic agents for pollination. The remaining part of the chapter we will study in the next session.